are going to discuss a few numericals on the previous class discussion regarding the antenna gain, then directivity, then directive gain with Friis equation and all. So one by one we will see that what are the features are available with respect to the given questions. Okay. So first question, as you can see, I have written it is a determine electric field intensity. So here we have to determine the E field. Okay, E field. Electric field intensity at a distance of 10 kilometer. Okay, from an antenna having a directive gain. So directive gain is given, that is 5 dB, and radiating total power is given is 20 kilowatt. So in this question we have to determine the electric field strength at a certain distance, at distance of 10 kilometer, with the given data radiated power, that is PR, is 20 kilowatt and the directive gain is 5 dB. So how to proceed? Let's see. So first of all, this GD, which is in dB, you have to convert into decimal value or normal value, which is equals to 10 log base 10 of GD. So like this I can write. So where this GD can be written as 10 to the power 0.5. This 10 you divide with respect to 5, so it will become 0.5, and then 10 is equals to 10 to the power 0.5. So GD is equals to this much. And the radiated power, so P rad, we can total power radiating is equals to 20 kilowatt. So this much is given. So GD and power radiation is given. Now GD and power radiation, if it is given and a distance is also given, next you can identify the average power. Once the average power is known, you can easily find out the electric field intensity. So what is the relation with respect to average power? We have the relation average power is equals to directive gain into P rad divided by 4 pi r square. Okay. P rad by 4 pi r square is depends upon your intensity. Okay. GD is called as a directive gain. So directly I will substitute here 10 to the power 0.5. P rad is 20 kilowatt, 10 to the power 3, and 4 pi r square. R is how much? 10 kilometer. So 10 kilometer means 10 to the power 4, which is whole square. Okay. Now with the help of a calculator, if you solve this, near about okay, so calculate this particular ratio, and we have average power is equals to E naught square divided by 2 eta, which is equals to 10 to the power 0.5 into 20 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 4 pi 10 to the power 4 whole square. If you solve this, your electric field strength from here, the electric field strength E naught is equals to, I can write, it is root over of 2 eta P average, like this. So this is the small relation which you are going to substitute here, and E naught you will get around 0.1984 volt per meter. So this is the simple calculation with the help of a simple relation that we have derived in the previous class. So these are the certain equations through which we can identify our electric field intensity. So if the electric field intensity is known, and if a question is asked about the magnetic field intensity, only the thing is that you have to divide E naught divided by H naught is equals to eta, or H naught is equals to E by eta, like this. So this is the simple relation. Eta is our 120 pi. Substitute here. Electric field strength is given, divided by 120 pi, you will get your magnetic field strength. So these are the possibilities of questions may ask in your exam. Okay. So this is one question. Okay. Now next question we will see. Next question, as I have written, an antenna with an efficiency. Now it is given in terms of efficiency. So antenna is given in terms of efficiency of 95%, has maximum radiation intensity of 0.5 watt per steradian. Maximum intensity means Umax, okay, radiation intensity. So calculate its directivity. We have to calculate capital D, and D is calculated when the directive gain is maximum. That is the indirect question it is asked, okay. And the hint is given. First case, if the input power is 0.4 watt, and the second case is the radiated power is 0.3 watt. Now how to proceed this? We have the efficiency, okay, radiation efficiency. So efficiency is basically related with respect to the output power with respect to the input power. Now last class we have discussed that this is our system, okay, this is our system. So here we are providing the input power, here it is loss, and here it is radiated power. So your efficiency is equals to P rad divided by P in, and P in is what? P in is losses plus radiated power. So here efficiency is given. So I will start with first efficiency, that is 0.98, which is equals to P R divided by P in, has a maximum radiation intensity of this much. So first it is input power is 0.4 watt is given, okay. So input power is 0.4 means your radiated power will become 0.98 into 0.4, okay. So if you solve this, you will get your radiated power. Now once this radiated power is known, you can easily find out the intensity. How? Let's see. So your directivity is equals to 4 pi Umax divided by P rad, okay. So radiated power we have calculated here 0.98 into 0.4. So near about it is 32.3 and this is 39. So it will become as a 0.392 watt, okay. And D is equals to 4 pi Umax divided by this power radiation. So here it is radiation intensity. Radiation intensity means Umax is given as 0.5. Only this much we have to substitute here. So it is 4 pi. This is 0.5. Power radiation is 0.98 into 0.4. That's it. So directivity we will get around 16.58. Okay. So this is the constant value. You can convert into a dB also. So how to convert into dB? Simply 10 log base 10 of 16.58. This will give you in terms of dB. Okay. So this is the value for directivity. Simple. Next, if the radiated power is 0.3 watt, directly here 0.3 is given. So radiated power means here power radiation, directly I will substitute as a 0.3 watt. So here no need to calculate with respect to the efficiency because already the radiated power is given as 0.3. So directly here in place of this 0.98 into 0.4 substitute 0.3. You will get your new directivity. These are the two possible cases. One, if the input is 0.4 watt and the radiated power is 0.3 watt. So with respect to input power, we have identified the directivity as 16.58. But if it is with respect to second point, if the radiated power is given as 0.3, then directly here in place of 0.98 into 0.4, you can substitute 0.3 and you can determine your directivity. So in that case, your directivity at radiated power is equals to 0.3. 1 minute. So here your directivity will become 4 pi into 0.5 divided by 0.3. So here we will get around 20.94. You check with your calculator whether this answer is correct or not. And convert this 20.94 into decibel by taking 10 log base 10 of 20.94. So this is one sort of possible of question. So like this they can ask either with respect to input power or with respect to the radiated power. Okay. Now next there is one more question. As you can see here, I have given the radiation intensity of a certain antenna. Radiation intensity means U. Okay. And U of theta comma phi is equals to 2 sin theta sin q phi, and where theta lies between 0 to pi and phi lies between 0 to pi. So these are the conditions are given, and here we have to determine the directivity of an antenna. So directivity, how we are going to identify? It is 4 pi u max divided by p rad. So that is the basic relation. So like that we have to identify. So how to proceed this? First we have to identify the directivity. So directivity is having a ratio of u max divided by u. Okay, u average. U average. Now what is u max? U max is the maximum value available in the intensity. Now when this value will have a maximum, if your theta is pi by 2 and phi is also pi by 2, then what will happen? This sin pi by 2 will become 1, sin cube of pi by 2 will become 1. Then only we are getting the maximum value, and that maximum value is u max is equals to 2. Because if I will put these two conditions here, the maximum value I am getting as 2. So that is the maximum value. So here I can write it is 2 divided by u average. Now what is the u average? U average can be calculated from this particular value. Let's see. So u average is equals to 1 by 4 pi integration of u into d omega. So this is the basic relation that already we have derived. So this is the solid angle. So d omega is the solid angle multiplied with your u divided by 4 pi will give you as a average radiation intensity. So only we have to substitute here the limits. So it is 1 by 4 pi theta 0 to pi phi 0 to pi, because limitations are 0 to pi. U is 2 sin theta sin cube phi, and d omega is sin theta d theta d phi. So this is the relation. Only the integration we have to solve. So this sin theta and this sin theta will become as a sin square theta, and this sin cube phi is with respect to phi. So it is equals to 1 by 4 pi 0 to pi. It is sin square theta into d theta, and I have took this 2 outside because 2 is available, and here it is sin cube phi into d phi. This is also 0 to pi. Now it is sin square theta means 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2, that you substitute here. Sin cube theta, similarly that relation with respect to cos theta, that you substitute. It is a simple integration. Sin square theta, sin cube theta, sin cube phi, it is simple integration. After integrating, substitute this range and you will get your average radiation intensity. And that radiation intensity you will get around 1 by 3. Okay, after solving this. So my directivity will have, it is u max divided by u average. So this is the directivity relation. So u max is 2 and u average is 1 by 3. So you will get around 6. So this is your answer. Okay. So this is your directivity. So with the help of this sort of small relation, we can determine the unknown factors. Okay. So the relations plays a vital role. Only remember this relation, derivations. It is quite easy to solve this sort of numericals. Okay. Now next question is also related to the same thing. Here the directivity of antenna with respect to the intensity is given. Sin theta 0 to pi by 2, theta lies between, and phi lies between 0 to 2 pi and 0 elsewhere. So find the directivity of antenna. It is similar to this. Similarly we will solve this. So our D is equals to solution. So D is equals to U max divided by U average. So what will be the maximum intensity? The maximum intensity here, the magnitude is 1. When it will happen? When theta is at 90 degree. So I will write, if theta is equals to pi by 2, then U of theta comma phi will become 1, and this is called maximum value. So maximum value of this intensity is 1. At which position? At theta is equals to pi by 2. So maximum value is 1, and this is my U average. So U average, as we have solved this one, we will substitute 1 by 4 pi U into d omega. Done. Now it is 1 by 4 pi integration 0 to pi by 2 theta. Here it is sin theta, and with respect to d omega, one more theta will be there, sin theta. So it is sin square theta into d theta, and 0 to 2 pi into d phi. Okay. Now solve this. So it is sin square theta means 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2. Solve this integration. This d phi, it will become 2 pi. So this 2 pi and this 1 by 4 pi, it will become half. And after solving this sin square theta, you will get around pi square by 2. Okay. So here we will get, it is pi square by 2. So this pi square by 2 and the U max, with the help of this you can substitute U max divided by U average. So you will get around 2 by pi square, this much. So this is your answer. Okay. So 2 pi square is your answer, and that to be 1 minute. Okay. So it is 1 by 0 to pi by 2, 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2 into d theta into 2 pi. This get cancelled 2. So here it is 1 by 4. Integration of d theta is 1 is pi by 2, and cos 2 theta means sin 2 theta divided by 2. So it is 0. So here we will get pi by 8, and our directivity will have 8 by pi. Okay. So this is my directivity. So this is your answer. Small correction. Not it is pi by 2, it is pi by 8. And the directivity U max, we have it is 1. So it is 1 divided by pi by 8 means 8 by pi. So you will get around this value. Okay. So like this you have to solve your numericals. Few more numericals we will take now. Okay. So these are 4 more numericals which we are going to solve now. So here I have written, find maximum effective area. Now here we have to identify the effective area, A suffix E, maximum, for a half wave dipole antenna. It is half wave dipole antenna which is operating at a frequency of 30 megahertz. Okay. And how much power is received with an incident plane wave of a strength of 2 millivolt per meter. Means electric field strength is given. Here we have to determine the effective area as well as the power received, PR. Okay. The power received with an incident plane at a strength of 2 millivolt per meter. Now for the effective area, we have the relation as A suffix E is equals to lambda square divided by 4 pi into GD theta comma phi. So this is the relation we have already derived in the previous class. Now only we have to determine these unknown components step by step. Now here it is, first one is our wavelength. So first I want to determine the wavelength. As we know that wavelength is C by F, and since the wave is propagating in a free space medium or an air medium, it will propagate with the speed of light. So that is 3 into 10 to the power 8, and frequency is 30 megahertz, 10 to the power 6. So near about we will get this lambda is 10 meter. Okay. So once this lambda we have got 10 meter, then determine the directive gain GD theta of phi. And this we have a relation, it is eta divided by pi rad into f square of theta. This f square of theta is the function of that half wave dipole antenna, and we have 1.6 into sine square theta. That for the half wave dipole, its function is f of theta is equals to sine square theta. 1.6, this value we will see as so 120 pi divided by pi, and this radiation resistance R rad for the half wave dipole antenna is 73. Remember this. This we will derive, but for the time being we will use this quantity. For half wave dipole, radiation resistance is 73 ohm. I have directly substituted, and this f square sin theta is 1.6 sin theta. Okay, so it is 1.6 of or you can write it is directly as f square theta. Later on we can substitute this value. So if you solve this, you will get around 1.64 f square of theta. So this f square of theta maximum value is 1, because sine square theta, it is half wave dipole, this function we have f of theta is equals to sine theta. So f square theta means it is sine square theta, and whose maximum value is 1. So GD max, if I want to determine GD max theta comma phi, my maximum value will be 1.64. Done. Substitute this value here so that you will get your maximum effective area. If this is only GD of theta, you will get only the effective area. If this is maximum, then you will get your effective area as a maximum. So what I will write, A suffix E max is equals to lambda square divided by 4 pi. This is GD max theta comma phi. So lambda we have got 10, that is 10 whole square, divided by 4 pi. GD max is 1.64, and this area you will get around 13.05 meters square. So this is your effective area, AE max. Okay, so this is your effective area we have got. And now next one is depend upon your incident plane wave with a strength of 2 millivolt per meter. You have to find out how much we have received the power. Okay, so received power is nothing but average power into effective area. This relation we have seen when we are discussing about the Friis equation. Okay, so average area or effective area, you can write power received divided by the average area. So average area is how much? E naught square divided by 2 eta, and effective area is how much? It is 13.05. Now what is E naught square? E naught square is 2.2 millivolt per meter. Substitute here. And what is eta? Eta is the intrinsic impedance of a medium, that is free space. So eta is equals to 120 pi. So here I will write it is 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 whole square into 13.05 divided by 240 pi. If you solve this, you will get your power received as 71.62 watt. So this much is your power received. Okay, so this is your power received. So like this you have to proceed. Always remember that when we are receiving some power, that means it will identify the area of an antenna where it is striking it, and what is the average power it is striking. If you multiply this average power and the striking area, you will get your received power. So with the help of that, we have found this relation, and this relation is basically identified during the Friis equation. Okay, so this is one question. Next question, you can see here I have to get is a half wave dipole, here I have to get is a Hertzian dipole. Okay, so determine the maximum effective area. It is similar to this, but it is a different antenna. So your radiation resistance will change, your effective area is also going to change. So maximum length of 10 centimeter operating at an 11 megahertz. If the antenna receive the 3 microwatt power, then what is the power density of the incident power? It is easy. Incident power means power received. So power received, if it is identified, intensity means density means S you have to identify. So what you will do, power received divided by the area, if you do, then you will get your intensity. So that we will see now. Okay, so step by step we will see. So first of all, effective area we have to determine. Effective area, as I have written, is lambda square divided by 4 pi into GD theta of phi. Done. So now lambda for this value, it is equals to C by F. So C is 3 into 10 to the power 8 and F is 11 megahertz, 10 to the power 6. So if you solve this, you will get around, it is 10 megahertz, not 11, it is 10 megahertz. So you will get around 3 meter. Okay. So once this is known, then your directive gain GD for Hudson dipole is 1.5 sine square theta. Okay. So it is 1.5 sine square theta. So this is the relation we will come across when we are deriving the relation for different antenna, for short dipole antenna, for Hudson dipole. For the time being, this relation will help us to solve this numerical. So GD for Hudson dipole is 1.5 sine square theta. So what is the maximum value? 1.5. So that I am going to use in this particular equation, effective area. Okay. So effective area, if I am identifying in this relation, lambda square divided by 4 pi, GD is 1.5 sine square theta. So this is my effective area. Okay. And what will be the maximum effective area? The maximum effective area means when your theta is equals to pi by 2. Then only we will have the maximum value 1.5. Okay. Otherwise this value will change. Minimum value we will get. So we need maximum value. So that maximum area must be covered. So A suffix E comma max is equals to lambda square divided by 4 pi into 1.5. So that is my effective area. Done. Now I have to determine what is the power density. So power density means received power divided by the effective area, that is called as your power density. So power density, if I want to determine, so my effective area is around 1.704 meters square, and my power density S is equals to received power divided by the effective area. Okay. So received power divided by the effective area. So received power is 3 into 10 to the power minus 6. Effective area is 1.074. So you will get around 2.793 microwatt per meter square. So this is your answer. Okay. So this is your answer. So S is called as your power density. This is power density. So S is equals to, what is the density? It is received power divided by the effective area. So received power is how much? 3 microwatt. What is the effective area maximum? It is, we have got around 1.074. How we have determined? It is lambda square divided by 4 pi into maximum value of the directive gain. So it is 1.5. So that I have substituted. So this is my power density and this is my wavelength and this is the effective area. So like this we can proceed. Okay, like this we can determine the unknown quantity with the help of these relations. So always I am telling that, remember, go through those derivation first. If the derivations are clear, any sort of question is given means it is easy to solve it. Okay. So next question we will see. So here it is given, the transmitting and receiving antenna are separated at a distance of 200 lambda. Okay. The transmitting and receiving end are separated at a distance of 200 lambda and have a directive gain of 25 and 18. Means transmitting directive gain GDT is 25 and GDR is 18 dB. If 5 milliwatt is to be received, then calculate the transmitted power. So that means this equation or this unknown component is going to be solved with the help of Friis equation. Okay, so that we will see now. So first of all, so what are the quantities are given, just note it down. So just first is GDT is 25 dB. Convert this one into decimal value, so that is 10 to the power 2.5, because this you can write as 10 log base 10 of GD. So if you solve this, you will get your GD value, it is in dB and this is in decimal value, 10 to the power 2.5. Similarly, your GDR, which is in dB, is equals to 18 dB. This you can write GDR is 10 to the power 1.5. Okay, so decimal value we have got. Next, so this GDT value is equals to 316.25, sorry 23, and this GDR value is 63.1. And now using the Friis equation, we are going to determine the minimum transmitted power. So Friis equation, we have power received GDT into GDR into lambda divided by 4 pi r whole square into power transmitted. Done. So this is the relation of the Friis equation. So transmitted power we have to determine. Received power is 5 milliwatt is given. GDT is given. GDR is given. Lambda is also we can determine, which is R is equals to 200 lambda. So lambda will be cancelled out. So my PT is equals to power received divided by GDT GDR, it is lambda divided by 4 pi r whole square. So power received is 5 into 10 to the power minus 3. This is 316.23. This is 63.1, and lambda will be cancelled out. So it is 800 pi whole square. So if you solve this, you will get your power transmitted. So power transmitted PT is equals to, after calculation and all, you will see power transmitted is 1.583 watt. Okay. So like this we can solve the unknown factors. This is called as our Friis equation. So with the help of, whenever this sort of questions are given, transmitting antenna, receiving antenna separated at a certain distance, directive gains are given, wavelength is also given, so you can easily find out any of the quantity, either transmitted power or the received power. Okay. So next, one more question we will see. So as I have written, an antenna in air radiates a total power of 100 kilowatt. Its radiated power of 100 kilowatt in air. So that maximum radiated electric field strength is 12 millivolt per meter. Okay, and measured at a 20 kilometer, at a distance of 20 kilometer from the antenna. Okay, radiating antenna. Here we have to determine what is the directive and what is the power gain if the efficiency is 98%. Okay, so it is quite easy to solve. So first of all, we have to determine the directive gain or directivity. So for that we need directive gain to be determined. So GD, as we have 4 pi r square into average power divided by P rad. Okay, so this we can write as 4 pi r square, average is E square divided by 2 eta divided by the radiated power. So radiated power is given, total power radiated is 100 kilowatt. Okay, so here E square is electric field is 12 millivolt per meter, that you can substitute. In place of eta you can substitute 120 pi, and R distance is given as 20 kilometer and radiated power is 100 kilowatt. So GD you can determine easily. Once GD is known, directivity is also known. Okay. So GD is equals to, if you solve this, you will get 2.16. Okay. That is 2.16. So 2.16, and convert this one into decibel. So this decibel will give you 3.34 dB, and this directive gain, when it is maximum, that is called as our directivity. Okay, so your directivity is also equals to 3.34 dB when it is maximum. Okay, so this is the first one. Then second, we are going to determine what is power gain, GP, if the efficiency is 90%. Okay, so your power gain relation is, it is efficiency eta R into GD, because we know that efficiency radiated power is equals to gain, power gain divided by the directive gain. So GP by GD relation, once GD is known, GP can be easily known. So GP is equals to how much? It is eta R, it is 0.98. What is GD? GD is our 2.16. Solve this, you will get your value as 2.117. So this is your GP, and this is your GD, this one. Okay, now this is in decimal value, convert this one into dB. So what you will do, it is 10 log base 10 of 2.117. So you can determine easily with the help of this relation. So these are the fundamental questions through which these derivations can be easily remembered, or you can see it is a vice versa. Either you can go through this relation properly, so that this sort of numericals can be solved in very easy manner. Okay. Okay. So these are the two last numericals which we are going to discuss today. So here you can see an S-band radar. Okay, it is a S-band radar. This radar is nothing but it will transmit as well as receive with the same antenna. Okay, so transmitting at 3 gigahertz, radiate 200 kilowatt of power. We have to determine the signal power density at a range of 100 to 400 nautical miles, means distance is given, nautical miles. And if the effective area of the radiating antenna is 9 meters square with a 20 meters square target at 300 nautical miles, calculate the reflected signal at the radar. Now the thing is, the radar is transmitting the signal as well as the reflected signal it is receiving. So here it is asked about the received signal power. Okay, so step by step we will solve this one. So first, this nautical mile. So here it is given 1 nautical mile is equals to 1852 meter. Remember this relation, because few questions may be asked in terms of nauticals. So 1 nautical is 1852 meter. So how to proceed this? We have to proceed with respect to the directive gains. Then only we can determine easily the received power. So step by step we will see. So first, what is our wavelength, that I will calculate, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8, and the operating frequency is 3 gigahertz. So that means it is 0.1 meter. Since the frequency is very high, your wavelength is going to be very less. So it is lambda is 0.1 meter. Next I will determine GDT, because with the help of this transmitting and receiving principle, Friis equation will come into picture. Okay. For that, this directive gain for transmitting antenna, I can determine 4 pi divided by lambda square into AE of T. So this 4 pi divided by 0.1 lambda square, and for transmitting antenna with an area of 9 meters square is given. So substitute 9 here, you will get 3600 pi. So this is your GDT. Now this GDT is known. Now we have to determine what is the effective area for the radiating, and the target is around 20 meters square is 300 nautical mile. Here we have to determine the signal power density S for a particular range of 100 to 400 nautical mile. First of all, we have to determine. How to determine that power density? Power received divided by the effective area. Okay. So that we are going to determine. So first I will identify for R is equals to 100 nauticals mile. Okay. 100 nauticals mile means 100 into 1852 meter. So your R will become 1.852 into 10 to the power 10 to the power 5 meter. So at this meter I am going to identify the density. So it is GDT, it is P rad divided by 4 pi R square. So S is our power density. So power density is what? Power density is power divided by the effective area. So effective area in this relation we have seen with respect to this GDT. Okay. So that I am going to substitute here. So it is 3600 pi. Radiated power is how much? 200 kilowatt. 200 kilowatt divided by 4 pi R square. R is how much? R is 1.852 10 to the power 5 whole square. If you solve this, you will get around 5.248 watt per meter square. So this is my power density for R is equals to 100 nautical mile. Similarly, you have to determine for R is equals to 400 meter, 400 nautical mile. So for R is equals to 400 nautical mile. Okay. So for this again convert this 400 into 1852 meter. Okay. So S is equals to, so GDT into P rad divided by 4 pi R square. Same relation, only the value is going to change. What is that value? Distance. So what is the distance? 400 into 1852 meter. So if you solve this, we will get around 0.328 watt per meter square. So this is one relation and this is one answer for two different distances. Next, here it is asked, if the effective area of the radiating element is 9 meters square with 20 meters square target, okay, at 300 nautical miles, calculate the reflected power. Means what is the power received. So area is also given for the received as a 20 meters square. So for that we are going to solve. The power received is equals to effective area, okay, effective area into sigma into GD into power rad divided by 4 pi R whole square. So this is the simple relation at 300 nautical miles we are determining. So 300 you need to convert into a meter. So that multiply 1852 with 300. Wherever this R is available, you substitute there. And AE is how much? AE is our 9 for the transmitting one. This sigma I have written for the received one. So received area is 20 meters square. And what is our GD? GD we have calculated, it is 3600 pi. Radiated power is 200 kilowatt divided by 4 pi R square or 4 pi R. R is how much? 300 into 1852 whole square. So this much you have to calculate. So this is your power received, which we will get 2.706 into 10 to the power minus 14 watt. So this much we will get after solving. So this type of questions may ask in your exam. These are the sure short question, because in this one equation only all the phase equation as well as effective area as well as the variation of a distance, everything is there. This is called variety of a question. So in this all relations we have to keep in mind. Okay. So one more question we will take and then we'll wind up. So here you can see an L-band pulse radar with a common transmitter and receiver antenna. Directive gain is 3500. Okay. GD is given. and operate at a 1500 megahertz, transmit a signal of 200 kilowatt. It transmitting the signal 200 kilowatt. If the object is 120 kilometer from the radiated and the cross section is 8 meters square, then we have to determine what is our electric field strength EI, what is our ES. ES means what is the received one, and what is the power captured by the object, and what is the power absorbed by the antenna. So these sort of questions may come in your exam. So how to proceed? Let's see. So we will start with average power EI. EI means incident power. Incident power will come with respect to the average power. So PI is equals to E square divided by 2 eta. So here the incident power is given as with respect to the radiated one. So I can write P rad into GD divided by 4 pi R square. This is the received power, okay? Incident power to the antenna, that means it is a received power. So power radiated into GD divided by 4 pi R square, that is called average power also. This PI is also called as average power. So with the help of this relation, this EI can be determined. This P rad is given how much? Radiated power means transmitted power is 200 kilowatt, GD is given 3500, R is given the distance, that is 120 kilometer. Only we have to identify the EI. So your EI is equals to root over of 240 pi into P rad into GD divided by 4 pi R square. So here you will get, it is 1.708 volt per meter. Just rearrange this. Take this 2 pi this side. What is eta? Eta is 120 pi. So here I have written 240 pi P rad GD divided by 4 pi R square. So power radiation is given, GD is given, R is also given. Substitute this, you will get 1.708 volt per meter. Next we are going to see what is our ES. ES means it is a received end. So basically when we are identifying the receiver, we have to see the effective area for receiver as well as transmitting area with respect to the Friis equation. Okay. So here we will substitute mod EI square into sigma divided by 4 pi R square. Now what is sigma? Sigma is this 8 meter square, which is receiving one. So here I will get EI square is 1.708 whole square into 8 divided by, what is the distance? The distance is 120 kilometers. So that means it is 1440 into 00 into 10 to the power 6. So if you solve this, you will get around 11.36 microvolt per meter. Okay. So this is your B, means electric field strength at the receiver. Next, power captured by the object. PC we have to calculate, and then PA is the power absorbed by the antenna. Now there are two things, one is object, one is antenna. So here power captured we have to identify with the area, sigma into Pi, that's it. Sigma is the cross section. Now this relation is what? It is a relation with respect to the effective area. Remember that. This effective area is given as 8 meters square. What is the incident power? Incident power we are getting with respect to Pi. So that is around 200 kilowatt. So directly I will substitute here. So it is 1.708 whole square divided by 240 pi into 8. Okay, 8 is the sigma, that is the received AER. You can write, in place of sigma you can write effective area of a receiver like this. Okay, and what is 120? It is EI square divided by 2 eta. So here you can see EI is how much? This is whole relation. So it is 1.078 whole square divided by 2 eta means 240 pi. If you solve this, your captured power will become as a 30.95 watt. Okay, and last one is our absorbed power. So absorbed power means at the received end. So receiver power. So PR. So with the help of that Friis equation, we can determine what is the received power. This PC means object is means that area, in that area where it is receiving the signals, and what is the received power is consumption. So that is our power at C, capture. But power received, it depends upon effective area of a receiver, GDT, GDR, power radiated, even with respect to the lambda also. Okay, so that we are going to substitute here. So it is lambda GD whole square into sigma means area into pi rad divided by 4 pi whole cube r to the power 4. So if you solve this, all this value if you solve, you will get 1.91 into 10 to the power minus 12 watt. So like these questions will come in your final exam. So you have to analyze all these relations step by step, because for different antenna, different radiation resistance are there, directive gains are there, that we will discuss next class. And with the help of this numerical, this small relations, you need to practice it, and you have to solve n number of questions. Even we have solved 10 questions. I will give few more questions. I will share the notes and all. So in that around 16 questions are there, and those are the probable questions may ask in your exam. So next class we are going to discuss about the various type of antenna, which is our module 4, like loop antenna, Hertz-Dipole antenna, all are derivations. Then we will see the numericals also. Few numericals already we have seen that using the relation of GD and all, that we will go once through, and step by step all those relation, what are the factors are going to be identified, then we will enter to the antenna array. Okay, so these are the fundamental numericals. Next class we are going to discuss more about the types of antenna and their working principle. Till then, thank you.